Hello, hola, bonjour. How are we, traders? Hope you're all well. Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're having a good trading week thus far. In this live stream, I am going to be with you for the next 45 minutes, and we are going to do as follows. We are going to show you a trade, a losing trade that I had today, and we're going to understand why. So we're going to look at that. I'm also in a couple of trades that I showed you yesterday. We're still in them. So we're going to look at all of those. We're also going to look at trades that are setting up. I'm interested in a few US dollar pairs, but obviously we'll take a look at those after the news, right? We've got some big news coming out, and we're also going to do that. We're going to look at all of this news coming out, guys, right? And we've got loads of news. Not only do we have ADP non-farm employment at quarter past the hour, at half past the hour, we've also got a shed load of more data as well. So we've got lots of US dollar data. And even later on, guys, right, if we look down here, we've just got more and more and more US data. All right. And we've got NFPs tomorrow. So a big week for the US dollar. And yes, I know you're probably thinking, Tom, please, can we play the Guess the News game? Yes, we can. Don't worry. We will play Guess the News game, the greatest game online. One New York newspaper said. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I can see everyone's coming in. So hello, everyone. We'll get through everyone. We'll say hello to everyone very shortly. And guys, remember, please don't forget to leave all of your questions, right? Ask me whatever you like about trading, and I will happily answer all of it. You can also ask me questions about anything, right? About football, about geography, and about film. Those are my three go-to quiz topics. What else am I good at with answering questions? That's about it. Geography, football, trading, movies. Right, so let's get stuck in then, guys. Right, let's have a look at a losing trade that I had today. Right, you know, guys, as always, right, I show you the winning trades. We're going to show you the losing trades as well. You know, we're going to have them, of course. And the trade was pound New Zealand dollar sells. Right, so you know, as always, my trading decisions are based on price action. And we were in a downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows. And if we zoom in, guys, you can see we had this nice big bearish daily candle. And then yesterday's candle was a little green one, right? So looking at the candles, I was like, sellers are still in control, right? And that's your job. You know, when you look at candles, your job needs to be, right, who's in control? Are buyers in control or sellers in control? So I surmised that sellers were in control, right? And there was still room, you know, potentially all the way down to this low here and this support level here. If I zoom out, you can see why this is a pretty good target, right? Price has reacted here many times before. So daily was telling me to sell. I look at the H4. And then we got a nice setup, right? This was, you know, yesterday we spoke about aggressive entries or non-aggressive entries. Is that the opposite of aggressive entries? Non-aggressive entries? I don't know, but you know what I mean, okay? And it was as simple as this, guys, right? We're in this H4 downtrend. Okay, price retraced into the smart river, right? We had a nice big bearish candle form, right? You can see this candle right here. And I got a nice retrace up this candle and started selling there. You can see my trade, put my stop loss above this last high here and was just looking to take price back down to these lows, right? And that's pretty much what every one of my trades will look like, right? So, you know, I was happy with the trade. And when you take a trade, right, I've done a little vid about your trading edge, right? So when you take a trade, you need to give yourself a score out of 10 when it comes to these three things. So am I following my trading plan in terms of my strategy? And for the reasons I just explained, the answer was yes, very much so, right? I could give myself a 9 or 10 out of 10 for my entry, right? It ticked all of the boxes. We even had the nice big bearish H4 candle, right? So yes, my money and risk management. You know, guys, that when I take a trade, my stop loss, which was there, will be risking 1%. This trade was no different. I risked 1%. So my money and risk management tick, right? 10 out of 10. Difficult to screw that up, right? And then my psychology was totally fine, right? There was nothing going on in my world. I was confident in the confidence, not the right word. I was happy with the trade, right? I'd followed my strategy. I'd followed my money and risk management. I was totally okay with the trade from a psychological point of view, right? I wasn't stressed out. I wasn't, revenge trading. I wasn't having a bad day. I wasn't having a great day. I was just trading. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a good trade. And it didn't work out, as you can see. But there's a really, it's important that, guys, right, that you know the difference between a bad trade and an unsuccessful trade, right? They are two different things, okay? So, the trade was good, but it was unsuccessful, right? And it was good for the reasons I explained. I followed all of my trading edge. So it's important you distinguish that. So unsuccessful trade on pound New Zealand dollar, although it ticked all of my boxes. And another point about that is, because we was having this conversation today in one of my mentorship programs with one of the traders that I work with. And, trading is not a results business, right? And even he was like, Tom, what the hell are you talking about? But it's not, right? Because it's not a results business because you can't control the result. Right? You can't. Like if you could, we'd all be millionaires, right? But you can't control the result. It's not a results business. It is a process performance business, right? So if I talk about my performance in this trade, it was good, right? My process was good. Okay. Now the result was bad. It didn't work out. So we're not in the results business. You are in the performing the best you can as a trader each and every day business, right? It's not as catchy as the results business. I'll give you that. But that's it, guys, right? Just focus on the process, focus on your own performance, and then the results take care of themselves. All right. So, all the trades I've taken this week, I'm hanging on to EuroCAD by the skin of my teeth, right? This was a trade that I took. We're still in it but, this trade, for example, I started entering here. There was no bearish candle, H4 was, as we discussed yesterday, wasn't clearly trending in a H4 downtrend. It wasn't. So with regards to this trade, whether this works out or not, I would actually give this trade less of a mark than I did the pound New Zealand dollar trade that I just showed you and didn't work out, right? I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Right, still followed my money and risk management, still totally fine psychologically with the trade at the time of taking the trade. But H4 wasn't exactly screaming out to us that we're in a downtrend and we're trending. Right? So if this trade works out, it's irrelevant. But I would actually say this is a worse trade than pound New Zealand dollar. Right? So that's what you should be focusing on. right? The process, okay, not the result. I am going to get that on t-shirts. I might even get a tattoo across my chest. And I'd also like to apologize for the garishly orange t-shirt that I have on today. I thought, what the hell? Let's go for it. It's Thursday. Wear bright orange. My bright red skin tone probably can't cope with this color. So yeah, that's me, guys. So pound New Zealand dollar losing trade. We're still in the couple of trades that I showed you in yesterday's live stream, and we'll also look at a few trades that I'm interested in today. Before we do, let's say hello to a few people. Luigi, hi, how are you, Luigi? Hope you are well. Bass, how are you? Barry. Bass always calls me Barry in the Discord for some unknown reason, but it's stuck and we quite like it. It's quite affectionate. Jane, how are you? Me, Tarzan, you, Jane, how are you? Jolma from Brazil, how are you, Jolma? How's the indicator? Who else we got in? James, hi. Adrian, no Liverpool mug today. You'll be glad to know. S-Zone, daily is bullish as I see. S-Zone, what level are you talking about? Please let us know, S-Zone. We can take a look. Omar, conservative entries. Yes. Now, when you think of entries, right, I have a little saying, right? And it's you want to be in at the right price, not the early price. Right? Now, bear with me as I explain what I mean. Now, let's look at this Euro Canadian dollar trade, because as I explained, I can't give this a high mark, right? Because of the H4 structure, really, right? It's still holding on to these highs, right? Which I deemed as the last lower high, right? So it's still holding on to these highs, hence my stop loss was in here. I'm just about hanging on to this trade, right? But a perfect example is this, right? I really liked Euro Canadian dollar daily chart at this point, right? And I wanted to sell it, okay? So when price come down and we got back up to here, I started selling here because 1.6 thousand was my target and I knew I wanted to put my stop loss up here. And at this point, I could get 1:1, which is the minimum that I want in a trade. So that's one of the reasons I took this trade at that level. Now, if this trade works out or not, right, what I should have done, right, and hindsight's a beautiful thing, right, we're all millionaires in hindsight, but is wait for the right price. So what I'm doing is trading the early price. Yeah, I'm aggressive. I'm trading the early price. But the right price, okay, should be, right, waiting for price to do this. And then we get a break of these lows. That confirms that H4 is clearly trending, right? There is no ambiguity there. Word of the day, ambiguity. Don't ask me to spell it. But there'll be no ambiguity at that point. Right? Then you want to start selling, right? Stops above here. Now that is the right price, not the early price. Now, obviously, I'm getting in, where did I get in? I'm getting in, about 40 pips worse off than I did here, right? When I entered here. But that's not the point. Right? The point is getting in at the price where you see sellers in complete control, you see the market trending strongly, you see buyers giving up, right? Whereas the price that I entered, buyers hadn't given up. And we're seeing this right now, and news has just come out, right? Let me have a quick look. But yeah, really important, guys. Being at the right price, not the early price. Right, news has just come out. Let's have a look at Euro US dollar, because I'm looking at a few US dollar pairs. So let me explain in a minute what I'm looking at. Let's just try and understand what the news is doing. So a bit of US dollar weakness there. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. A bit of US dollar weakness there. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar US. Indifferent. A bit of US dollar strength. Let's have a look at US dollar Swiss franc. Right, difficult to say what it is doing. That's US dollar strength. Let's go back to Euro US dollar. I'm going to say the news was as expected. This is where I get egg on my face and my detective days are over. They are numbered. Let's have a look. Very big miss, right? There you go. I will not cut it as a detective. I will not buy. What's the hat that Sherlock? Is it a hunter? Not a hunter cap. Anyway, not important. So that is a big miss. Big miss, right? And and Fed Chair Powell said he's looking at employment figures to know what to do with the interest rate. So that would potentially give us clues that interest rate, look at me getting all macroeconomic, that an interest rate decrease is coming, right, on the American dollar. Okay, that's what those numbers would tell us. So that should lead to a weak US dollar, but it's not, right? It's not, right? It's not moving at all. That's quite static. Another thing I want to look at is the indices, because I'm interested in buying the Dow Jones, but that figure should be quite negative for the indices. But again, not much happening here. Maybe the market's waiting for all the other news to come out as well, right, in 15 minutes. NASDAQ, yeah, nothing really happening on that news, because we've got another, shed load of news coming out. So, yeah, that was that, guys. Bit of a muted reaction, really. And we'll look at US dollar pairs that I'm interested in 1 second. Let's just go through a few questions. So Omar's entered a buy on Aussie dollar, US dollar. Okay, Omar, I like your thinking. This plays into what I'm seeing with US dollar pairs, and we'll take a look. Hi, Niraj, how are you? Niraj, is this the same indicator on your chart which you got developed? Yes, it is, Niraj, but there's more to it. There's a lot more features to it because I'm presenting, right? I'm using some of the features of the indicator, but Niraj, yes, it is. Okay, so Bass is saying euro pound. Let's have a look at euro pound because I am in this trade, and I really like this level, guys, right? Let me just see who else is in the house. Rona from Kenya. Hi, how are you? I would like to go to Nairobi. I've never been. Say it with Stone. Ciao. Ciao. You and Luigi. Ciao, ciao. Raphael wants to look at Aussie dollar CAD, euro pound. Yeah, well, let's have a look at euro pound right now. And guys, we'll start going through the questions, right? So, okay, let's start with euro pound. Then I'm going to look at the US dollar pairs as well that I'm interested in. But yeah, euro pound, we really like. Okay, because firstly, we was in this downtrend and then bang, we're in an uptrend, right? We started to get higher lows, right? And then we broke these highs. So we are clearly in an uptrend. There is no, that is not open to interpretation. No one on planet Earth is going to disagree with that. It's in an uptrend. We are looking for buys, right? Now, the candles, top wicks here, and look at yesterday's bearish candle. The candles are not exactly bullish right now. Okay, but I got in on this trade on the back of this daily candle yesterday, right? But I still like this trade, right? I know that's a big bearish candle, but I just love this level because if we look at the H4, I love it when this happens, right? I love it when we are in a daily uptrend and then H4, we are pretty much doing this, right? We're getting higher lows, higher highs. And just look at the trend line. We're at an area where we have trend line support, right? You can clearly see that. And we have horizontal support. I love, and I mean love, this combination. I love this more than I love Liverpool Football Club, more than I love Gal Gadot. Check out Gal Gadot. She's the most beautiful woman on the planet. If we got some ladies in, who is the male equivalent of Gal Gadot? Is it George Clooney, Brad Pitt, someone like, or are they too old for you? I don't know. Who does my missus like? Ryan Gosling. Is he right? Is this the Ryan Gosling trade? But this is, I love this entry, right? You've got two pieces of support, daily uptrend, lots of things to like. Now, if we get a nice bullish H4 candle here, I would suggest this is a good buy trade. So everyone is looking at euro pound. Yeah, I like euro pound. And as Say It With Stone said, yeah, I entered here. I added a position here at these last levels, and this is where I'm at. All right, my stop loss is still the same. So that's where we are at with euro pound, and yes, still really like this trade. Now, let me show you the US dollar pairs I'm looking at. All right, I'm looking at US dollar Swiss franc sells. I've just got such a big microphone. I have to keep doing this with my head. It's like it's too big. Euro US dollar buys, New Zealand dollar US buys, and US dollar Canadian dollar sells. So I am liking US dollar weakness, right? And let's look at US dollar Swiss franc because I really like this one. Now, if we go to the day chart, right, you can clearly see, right, price pushed up. We was in this uptrend, and then price broke down, right? And we're basically here. We're getting lower highs, lower lows, right? We're in a downtrend. We got a nice, I would say that's bearish enough. Got a nice top wick on a daily candle here, okay? And these are good reasons to sell US dollar Swiss franc, right? So the day chart is telling me I can sell. And if we go to the weekly chart as well, right, this is also in a downtrend, okay? We're here, right? There was a bit of support there, and this is where we're at, right? We're seeing lower highs, lower lows, and just look at the candles, right? They are all bearish. So can we take price back down to these lows, right? Potentially. So weekly and daily tell me I can sell. The problem with all of these US dollar pairs is the H4, right? Because they are all pretty much in H4 uptrends or downtrends, depending on what currency pair you're looking at. But if we look at US dollar Swiss franc, we are basically here, right? We're in an uptrend. We're getting higher highs, higher lows. We're in an uptrend. So if, right, it's a big if, we're quite a way away, but if we get a break of these lows, you can see my alarm in here, guys, right? So if we get something like this, and then we get a candle that breaks this level, right, I am interested in this trade. You will see our smart river indicator, soon as that level is broken, will turn to red to signal a sell trade. And we know, looking at our indicator, right, we're in a downtrend. Daily is bearish. Okay, so the indicator basically trades like me, okay? And then that is what I'll be looking for to take a sell. And it's the same with a lot of US dollar pairs. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Again, you can see where my alarm is because we are in a downtrend, right? If we break this level, I'm interested, okay? Euro US dollar, same idea. H4, you can see where my alarm is, right? And I set these alarms up at the start of the day. They have been there for hours, right? So you can see we was in this uptrend, bang, we're in a downtrend. But if we break this level here, let's say we get something like this, I would look to buy Euro US dollar back up to these highs. So yeah, those are all the US dollar pairs that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at US dollar CAD, but CAD's getting some real weakness at the moment, right? This is clearly in a H4 uptrend, but if we get something like this and we get a break of these lows, then looking for sells as well. So yeah, they're all the US dollar pairs I am looking at, guys. Let me have a quick drink. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please smash the like button and please smash the notification button as well. I got them all in the wrong order. Also, guys, if you look above my head, let's do them one at a time. If you look Trade Smarter, if you check out our website, www.simply-forex.com, you can get access to all of our premium trading education, including the Simply Forex course, including the mentorship program, including the VIP Trading Academy, and our newly created price action indicator, which is kicking butt. So check out that, guys. Also, please come join our free Discord, right? We've got a great trading community, traders in there sharing knowledge, ideas, helping each other out. So just come join the free Discord, right? And also, guys, Pepperstone. Today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone. And if you switch brokers today and sign up with a world-class broker, we will give you free VIP access and we'll give you a free Essential Trading View subscription. What the hell are you waiting for? Check it out. The links to all of these things, guys, are in the video description or the live stream description. Get my facts right. Right. What else are we looking at? Right. Raphael wants to look at Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar sells. So on the daily, we are at a really nice resistance level. We are. Okay. Now, basically, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar has been doing this. Right. It's been ranging, okay? And this is where we find ourselves. But this level isn't breaking. And neither's these lows. Now, are we starting to see higher highs? I would say we are, okay? But we are at a key resistance level. So I can understand you wanting to sell at this level. But, Raphael, do you want to sell a daily candle that looks like that? Right? Answers on a postcard. The answer's no. I don't. I don't want to sell a candle that looks like that, a daily candle. Right? But let's take a look at the H4 and see what's happening there. Now, is that the last H4 higher low? Yes, because it's tricky, guys, because this was basically a gap down, right, and price shot back up. That's all that is. So is that significant enough to represent the last higher H4 high? It's a little bit weak for me, but I can see how you would think that is breaking H4 structure if we get a nice bearish candle that looks like that. But even then, right, look at this. Look at this level through here, right? Resistance, 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 resistance. Even if you do get a bearish candle, do you want to start selling into that? Plus, we have a nice big bullish daily candle. So for me, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar isn't a sell trade, right? It's not, for the reasons I just explained. Like I said, guys, I'm still in this euro Canadian dollar sell trade. Yeah. Not interested in selling Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, Raphael, based on what I'm seeing there. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, so Omar says here, I don't aim for the higher high or the lower low. Don't feel so comfortable predicting the momentum. Prefer to wait for a pullback after a big move. Yes, that is the only way to trade. Right, we spoke about it yesterday, right? Now, I want, which was pretty much the mistake I made with euro Canadian dollar that I was quite open about earlier, right? But when I'm in a downtrend, I want to see a clear downtrend. Now, this is the textbook downtrend. I know in reality, price doesn't move, well, it can move like that, but normally in reality, price moves, something like this, right? But my point is, I want to see something clearly downtrending, and this what I've just drawn here is still clearly downtrending, right? And then when we get a pullback to a level, and usually around where the smart river is, we've got a good sell trade. That's it, right? That's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for something clearly trending, a nice pullback to a significant level. We can start selling it. And the opposite is true in an uptrend. It doesn't always look, sometimes it looks like this, right? But then when we get that big break and we get a pullback to the smart river, right, we can start buying. That's what we're looking for, guys. Strongly trending with pullback. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Right, what else are we looking at? Morning, Sir Subrosa. Thank you, Brett. What Sherlock Holmes wears is a deer stalker hat. That's what I was thinking of. If that comes up in a quiz now I know. A deer stalker hat. Go check it out, guys. I suggest you all buy one. If you want to impress your friends, maybe in the local discotheque, get a deer stalker hat. Very cool. Okay, S-Zone. Please, Tom, I still don't know how to include reading the news in my trading. Good, S-Zone. Don't worry. We've spoken about this a few times. We spoke about this a few times on this channel, right? Now, I am not a fundamental trader, okay? I'm purely technical, right? I trade I trade facts on a chart, right? Whatever the facts on a chart tell me, I do, right? I don't care about what is happening in another country. I don't care. That's the wrong word. But, I don't care that there's, conflicts or there's oil embargoes or there's a president being removed or the prime minister said this or CPI was this month. Interest rates are going to do this. That is all just noise to me. If anything, it harms my trading. If I start trying to make sense of it all, right, and let's be honest, the best fundamental analysts in the world usually, get it wrong a lot of the time, right? Because no one can tell the future, right? So all of that is just noise. I do not pay any attention to it. Now, I know how economies work, when economies are heating up, when they need to be cooled down, the key the KPIs of the economy and what we must look for, employment, inflation, interest rates, etc., right? Retail spending. But why not waste your time? That's the wrong word. But why focus on all of that when the chart tells you, right? So let's have a look at, I don't know, let's have a look at euro pound, right? Now, whatever is happening, right, in the world macroeconomically, chances are, right, that whatever is happening macroeconomically is good for the euro, right? There's more good news coming out of the euro, right? Whether it's CPI, whether it's interest rates, whether it's retail, whether it's something the head of the ECB said, right? Whatever it is, euro has more better macroeconomic news than pound. So all of these same things, right? Obviously, there's things coming out of the UK regarding all of these things, not the ECB, but the Bank of England, right? But whatever it is, the chart is telling me that in the short-term macroeconomic environment, and I'm a short-term trader, right? I'm in a trade for a day, a couple of days max. Apart from pound yen the other week, I was in that for about 12 years. But whatever it is the chart is telling me that euro is stronger than pound. So why try and make sense of all of this? And also, guys, it depends on your time horizon. Like, I'm an intraday trader. I could be in a trade for a few hours. So all of this macroeconomic mid-term to long-term view is irrelevant, right? Maybe if you're a swing trader and you're holding a position for many weeks, then okay, I would say fundamentals plays more of a key role in your decision, right? But me intraday trading, just trade the technicals. It's all there for you to see, right? So as shown, there's my view on that. Right, Nico. Hey Tom, I've been following on and off for the last year or so. Joined the VIP Discord this week. Enjoying everything so far. Nico, thank you very much for your kind words. This is music to my ears. I'm glad you're enjoying it. The only bit I don't like is that you said you were on and off for the last year. We'll have less off and more on. I'm only joking. But yeah, thanks, Nico, for the kind words. Trump, maniac. Oh, right, we've had more news as well. Sorry, I get talking. Oh, God, Mike's just mentioned Noel Edmonds. We've just had more news come out as well, guys, right? So let's have a quick look. Sorry, guys, I get talking. And so better than expected, worse than expected. That's a bit of a mixed bag. But the big one here is initial jobless claims. And just basically means more people are claiming unemployment, right? And employment change is decreasing. So all of this is a pretty bleak employment outlook, which leads me to believe, again, I don't trade like this S-zone, but it leads me to believe that an interest rate cut on US dollar is imminent, right? But we shall see. I don't, I'm predicting the future, right? That's exactly what I just tried to do there, predict the future, right? You can't do that. Nobody can. Well, you can, okay. You can have a go at predicting the future, but that's all I'm doing, right? Whereas trading technicals, it's all facts on a chart in real time. So there you go. Right, Mike Derricott, Noel Edmonds. My God. Everyone type in Noel Edmonds. He was like a 80s TV presenter. And just look at his face. And you tell me that you don't want to slap it slightly. Okay? I don't condone violence. I'm just saying he has a very annoying face. Go check it out. Please leave a comment or just get in contact on the free Discord and say, Tom, you are correct about Noel Edmonds' face, or no, Tom, he has a wonderful face and I would like to kiss it, not slap it. Right. We've also got here from Bass. So Bass is one of our indicator traders, as am I, guys. I'm using the indicator as well. Bass recommending the indicator, guys. It's instant Tom Brett vision on your charts. Thank you very much, Bass. Yeah, we've put a lot of hard work into it. Glad you are looking at that. Trader Nick announced that gold is about to crash. Okay, let's take a look at gold. About to crash. Now, I'm not buying gold. I know that much. It's so overextended up here, right? It's so overextended. Okay, and if you think about it, guys, again, I keep talking about macroeconomics. I've just told everyone, you know, macroeconomics is noise, but right, if we keep getting employment figures like that come out of the US, that is going to have a detrimental impact on the indices and the economies as a whole. Interest rates will lower in terms of the US dollar interest rate. Indices will fall, and therefore gold should be strong, right? It's a flight to safety. Okay, so not only that, but look at gold, it's flying. Now, I don't want to buy gold. It's totally over inflated. And what I do want to look at is this weekly. Now, this is going to be a big indication about gold, right? This level has proven itself since the 21st of April, right? It's been a big level. Now, we've had big news today, and we've got big NFP news tomorrow. So what's going to be really interesting is tomorrow, right? And how this weekly candle finishes. Does NFPs, or the outcome of NFPs, does it have enough to give US dollar strength so that we get a wick like that? Maybe. Again, I'm not predicting the future. I'm talking about possible scenarios. Because if we get a wick and a candle, weekly candle that looks like that, right, then this level hasn't broken. And if anything, I would be a seller of gold, right? Now, tomorrow, if NFPs means the candle stays like this on the weekly chart, I am a gold buyer. Right, pull backs into here, look to take price from there. Right, so it's a big level for gold. It's a big couple of days for the US dollar in terms of news. So I won't be jumping into any gold trades, right? Or I will be waiting for that to all pan out and reassess things on Monday. I'll actually talk about it in my weekly forecast, guys, that I do every weekend, right? It's a video. I put it on YouTube, so check it out. Yeah, it'll have all the information in there. So it's a big week, guys, for the US dollar. So let's see how it all plays out. Yeah, with the NFPs tomorrow. Guys, look at the time. Yeah, right, guys. Sorry if I didn't get. We've got loads of other questions coming in. Okay, guys. Yeah, we just don't have enough time. But thank you very much for joining me, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash the like button. Please check out the things above my head, right? The internet, the website, our free Discord, and Pepperstone. Have a great trading day, guys, and I will see you next time.